Ryan's office revenge.
The blast furnace alarm was screaming when I walked into the control room Monday morning. That sound cuts through everything. Your coffee, your thoughts, your soul. It means molten steel at 2,800 degrees is doing something it shouldn't be doing. And in a steel mill, that's how people die. I'm Jason Coleman, 49 years old, and that control room's been my second home for 12 years. The nerve center keeping production schedules running for 11,000 steel workers across 3 plants in Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. No schedules, no steel. And when steel production stops, Ford and GM don't send polite emails. They cancel contracts. I run the back-end systems that coordinate everything from blast furnace rotations to crane operator shifts across the Rust Belt. It's not glamorous work, but it's honest, and I'm damn good at it. Been at it since I left the Navy and needed a job that actually mattered. Steel production isn't like office work. These guys pour molten metal that'll kill you if you look at it wrong. They operate 200-ton cranes 40 feet up where one mistake drops a load on your buddy's head. They handle chemicals that'll burn through your lungs before you know what hit you. They deserve their paychecks on time and their shift schedules to make sense. Try calculating overtime for a crew that starts in Cleveland, hauls equipment to Detroit midweek, and finishes a project in Pittsburgh. Each state's got different labor laws, multiple unions with their own rules, hazard pay rates that change based on what you're working with, federal safety requirements that'll shut you down if you mess up. My system isn't some fancy cloud platform the consultants keep pushing. It's a beast. Legacy databases, custom scripts, and 12 years of patches that actually work in the real world. When OSHA updated safety regulations last year, I rebuilt the compliance module over Bourbon and Springsteen. When the steelworkers negotiated new overtime rules, I rewrote the scheduling engine in 4 days. The system knows every quirk of steel production because I built it to handle reality, not some business school theory. But corporate only sees an outdated system, and me as the bottleneck standing in the way of progress. Enter Richard Walsh, CEO who bought Superior Steel Industries 2 years ago, and his daughter Stephanie Walsh, VP of Operations with an MBA from Wharton. She came in to modernize operations. That's corporate speak for firing experienced people and replacing them with cheaper, shinier alternatives. Stephanie's the type who wears designer suits to the plant floor but never gets close enough to actually see molten steel being poured. Got the MBA credentials and buzzword fluency, but zero understanding of what happens when you schedule the wrong crew for a blast furnace rotation. Never had to explain to a crane operator why his paycheck was wrong. Never dealt with a union steward asking why safety protocols got ignored because some algorithm screwed up shift assignments. The meeting happened Wednesday afternoon. Stephanie called me in with Kevin Martinez from HR. Kevin's a good guy, but he's loyal to the company paycheck, not the workers. Stephanie barely looked up from her tablet in her glass office overlooking the main plant. We're restructuring operations, she said, moving to a more agile, cost-effective model. What's that mean for production scheduling? She flashed that practiced corporate smile, the kind they teach you in business school. Meet our new consultant, Justin Reed, fresh Stanford MBA. He's built a revolutionary scheduling solution, of course. Young MBA with theories about how to run a steel mill. Justin walked in like he owned the place. Expensive suit, iPad Pro, confidence that only comes from never being wrong about something that actually matters. I've analyzed your processes, he said, not even bothering to sit down. Very thorough, but very manual. I've built a comprehensive solution in Excel. Cloud-based, intuitive, handles everything your legacy databases do, but with modern efficiency. I stared at him. Excel. For 11,000 steel workers across 3 plants. Not just any spreadsheet, Justin said, getting defensive already. Advanced pivot tables, macros, conditional formatting. It's basically a database, but user-friendly. User-friendly. That's what they always say when they want to replace something that actually works with something that looks prettier. I've been in this business long enough to know that user-friendly usually means it works great in PowerPoint presentations and falls apart when real problems show up. Is this a joke? I asked, looking straight at Stephanie. It's innovation, Jason, she said, leaning back in her chair like she was explaining something to a child. Justin's model can reduce processing time by 60% and cut our overhead significantly. Translation, they could fire me and pay Justin a fraction of my salary. I'd seen this movie at other companies. Young consultant promises the world with some half-baked solution. Experienced guy gets shown the door. 6 months later, they're begging the old hand to come back and fix the mess. But I wasn't going down without making sure they understood what they were gambling with. Production scheduling runs tomorrow morning, I said, keeping my voice level. Today's Wednesday. If you're switching systems, you need to understand what you're dealing with. This isn't just plugging numbers into formulas. I started counting off the complications on my fingers. Blast furnace rotations that have to be timed with crane availability. You can't just swap crews whenever you feel like it. Union contracts with overtime rules that change based on consecutive days worked. Some guys get time and a half after 8 hours, double time after 12, but only if they're working certain equipment. Then you've got hazard pay calculations for chemical handling that vary by exposure time and what chemicals you're dealing with. Multi-state tax withholdings where a guy can start the week in Ohio and finish in Pennsylvania. Safety certifications that expire and affect crew assignments. You can't just stick anyone on a blast furnace because your spreadsheet says so. Equipment maintenance schedules that have to mesh with production demands. Justin was nodding like he understood, but I could see his eyes glazing over. He thought he'd figured out steel production from reading industry reports and case studies. "I've accounted for all of that," he interrupted, waving his hand like he was swatting flies. "My model includes lookup tables for all regulations and automated calculations." Lookup tables. The Ohio Safety Database alone has 400 different job classifications with different requirements depending on which plant you're working in and what equipment's involved. The union contracts have scheduling rules that'd make a tax attorney's head spin. "Justin," I said, trying to keep the edge out of my voice, "have you ever scheduled a blast furnace crew?" "I've studied the operational parameters extensively," he said, straightening his tie. "Studying and doing are different things. You know what happens when you get blast furnace scheduling wrong? The furnace temperature drops, and you lose a $50,000 heat of steel. Get crane scheduling wrong, and production stops for 6 hours while million-dollar equipment sits idle. Get safety scheduling wrong, and OSHA shuts down your entire plant." Stephanie had heard enough. "We appreciate your concerns, Jason, but we've made our decision. This is about efficiency and cost management." Kevin finally spoke up, shuffling papers like he was uncomfortable. "We'll need you to provide Justin with all necessary documentation for a smooth transition." Documentation. That's what they wanted. Most of the critical processes are in custom scripts I wrote over the past 12 years. The real knowledge isn't documented anywhere. It's in my head, built up over thousands of decisions and problems solved. That's the thing about systems that actually work in the real world. They're not built from textbooks. They're built by people who've been doing the job long enough to know where all the problems hide. I know that the scheduling system in the Detroit plant has a glitch where it double books crane operators after midnight shifts, but only on weekends when the network load is high. I know that the union contract for the furnace crews has a clause about meal breaks that nobody else remembers, but if you don't account for it, guys don't get their penalty pay. Justin doesn't know any of that. He's got his pretty spreadsheet with color-coded cells and fancy formulas, but he's never had to explain to Anthony Torres why his blast furnace crew is showing up as working negative hours because some calculation went sideways. "When's my last day?" I asked. "Friday," Stephanie said, already looking back at her tablet. "After tomorrow's production run. We want to ensure a smooth transition." I stood up, my knees popping the way they do when you've been sitting too long, or when you're about to make a decision you'll either regret or celebrate later. "All right then. I guess we'll see how it goes." "That's the spirit," Stephanie said without looking up. The next 2 days felt like watching a slow-motion train wreck. I spent Thursday documenting everything I could think of. User guides, step-by-step instructions, emergency procedures. But here's the thing about complex systems that have evolved over 12 years. You can't document institutional knowledge. You can't write down the gut feeling you get when something doesn't look right, or the instinct that tells you to double-check a calculation because it seems off by just enough to matter. Justin shadowed me those 2 days, taking notes on his iPad and asking questions that showed he had no clue what he was getting into. "Why do you manually verify the safety certifications every morning?" he asked Thursday. "Because the state database got corrupted back in 2019, I explained, pulling up the verification screen. It shows current certifications, but about 3% of the records have wrong expiration dates. If you don't catch it, guys work equipment they're not certified for, and OSHA fines us $10,000 per violation. Can't we just get the database fixed? It's a state system. We don't control it. We work around it." He made a note like that was something he could handle with a phone call to Sacramento. Why not automate this verification process? He asked, watching me cross-reference 3 different databases. Because automation breaks when the data's bad. You need human judgment to spot the inconsistencies. More notes. I could see him planning to automate everything I did manually, not understanding that I did things manually because that's the only way they worked reliably. Thursday afternoon, Justin felt confident enough to start importing real data into his Excel model. I watched him upload production files from our 3 plants, Cleveland, Detroit, Pittsburgh. The spreadsheet immediately started lagging. It's just processing the data, he said, clicking refresh repeatedly while Excel ground through 11,000 employee records like a meat grinder trying to process a telephone pole. But I could see what was happening. His lookup formulas were hitting circular references because he didn't understand how shift scheduling cascades. When you've got federal, state, and union requirements that can all apply to the same job, you can't just use simple lookups. You need conditional logic that checks multiple criteria in a specific order, with fallback procedures when the data doesn't match. Justin, I said carefully, you might want to test that on a smaller data set first. It'll be fine, he replied, but I could hear the uncertainty creeping into his voice as Excel's memory usage spiked and the program started freezing every few seconds. Just give it time to process, he said, more to himself than to me. I didn't push it. Sometimes the best teacher is experience. And Justin was about to get an education no MBA program provides. Friday morning came, and it was handoff time. Justin showed up early with his laptop and the kind of nervous energy you see in rookie sailors before their first real storm. The confidence from Thursday afternoon was gone, replaced by the sweaty desperation of someone who's starting to realize they're in over their head. Ready to make steel industry history? He asked, trying to sound upbeat while setting up at my workstation. I gathered my personal items from 12 years at that desk. Coffee mug that said world's okayest engineer, photo of my restored 69 Camaro, and a bottle of bourbon I kept for emergencies. Something told me they'd need it more than I would. The production scheduling cutoff is 10 a.m., I reminded him. After that, shifts get assigned incorrectly, and we lose the whole day. Equipment sits idle, crews stand around getting paid to do nothing. Justin nodded, already focused on his screen where Excel was grinding through production data like it was choking on steel shavings. I started to leave, then stopped. Justin, one piece of advice. When this crashes, and it will crash, don't try to fix it by rerunning the calculations. Each time you reprocess, you create duplicate entries in the system. Fix the problem first, then rerun. He wasn't really listening. He was staring at his screen where half the cells were showing error values. Scott Williams walked me to security, where Kevin had my severance paperwork waiting. Scott's ex-Army understands the value of knowing your job inside and out. Sorry to see you go, Jason, Scott said as I signed the documents. This doesn't feel right. It's just business, Scott. Bad business, but still business. I drove home in my pickup, windows down, classic rock on the radio. I should have been angry, but mostly I felt like I was watching a disaster movie where you know the asteroid's going to hit, but the characters haven't figured it out yet. My phone started buzzing around 11 a.m. Text from Ryan Bradley in systems support. Jason, Justin's schedule is showing weird numbers. Says I'm supposed to work a 27-hour shift on Monday. Should I bring a sleeping bag? Then another from Anthony Torres at the Cleveland plant. According to this new system, I'm supposed to operate 3 blast furnaces simultaneously. Pretty sure that violates the laws of physics. By noon, my phone was lighting up like a Christmas tree. Guys from all 3 plants were seeing their shift assignments and nothing made sense. Crane operators were scheduled for furnace work they weren't certified for. Furnace crews were assigned to equipment in different states. The funniest one came from Stephen Parks in Detroit. Jason, my schedule says I'm working Tuesday through Thursday next week, then Tuesday through Thursday again the same week. Did I get promoted to time traveler? I could picture exactly what had happened during the data import. Justin had mixed up the column headers when he loaded the files. Employee ID numbers were being used as shift lengths. Safety certification codes were being treated as equipment assignments. Excel was trying to calculate schedules using Social Security numbers as multipliers. But the real disaster was still coming. The weird numbers guys were seeing on their phones were just the appetizer. The main course would be served when the production systems tried to use Justin's scheduling data to actually run the mills. At 2 p.m., my phone rang. Kevin from HR, and his voice was tight with panic. Jason, he said, we need to talk. Justin's production schedule is showing some irregularities. Irregularities, that's corporate speak for complete catastrophe. According to Justin's calculations, we were supposed to run 4 blast furnaces simultaneously with a crew of 12 guys, while assigning our entire crane crew to office work. Also, the system had scheduled furnace maintenance during active steel production, which would have been like performing surgery on someone while they're running a marathon. The furnaces shut down automatically when the safety system saw the scheduling conflicts, Kevin continued. All 3 plants are offline. Production stopped completely. I pulled into my driveway and sat in the truck, engine running, listening to Kevin explain how Justin's Excel model had managed to create what was essentially an industrial black hole. Also, Kevin said, the union's asking questions. Patrick Murphy wants to know why his guys are getting shift assignments that violate federal safety regulations. Has anyone told Richard yet? He's in meetings all day in Chicago. Justin said he could fix it before Richard gets back. Famous last words, the kind you hear right before everything really goes to hell. By 4 p.m., Superior Steel Industries wasn't a steel company anymore. We were a disaster zone. Production had stopped at all 3 plants because nobody knew what they were supposed to be doing, and the safety systems wouldn't let anyone near the equipment with those crazy assignments in the computer. Patrick Murphy, our union rep, was standing outside the main Cleveland office with a megaphone by 5 p.m. Patrick's been representing steelworkers for 25 years. He's built like the blast furnaces he protects, talks like the equipment he knows, and has zero patience for corporate stupidity. Superior Steel thinks they can play games with working people's schedules. His voice boomed across the parking lot. If they can't figure out how to run a steel mill safely, maybe they should find someone who can. The work stoppage started like a chain reaction. Cleveland plant first, then Detroit, then Pittsburgh. By 6 p.m., every Superior Steel facility was running skeleton crews. Trucks were backing up at the gates with nowhere to deliver materials, and our customers were starting to ask questions. Ford called at 6:30. They had automotive steel on order, needed for production lines that couldn't stop. GM called an hour later. Both companies wanted to know why their shipments were delayed and whether they needed to find alternative suppliers. My phone kept buzzing with updates from guys still inside the building. Scott texted, "Justin's locked himself in the conference room. Been trying to fix his spreadsheet for 8 hours, but every time he changes something, it breaks something else." Another text. "Stephanie's been on the phone with IT support all afternoon. Apparently Justin deleted the original production data when he tried to reload everything. That made me chuckle." When you're panicking and something's not working, the natural human response is to start over. But when you start over in Excel without proper backups, you lose everything. Justin had just erased the only copy of the weekend's production schedules, and Monday's automotive shipments were now impossible. The weekend passed in a blur of local news coverage and increasingly frantic phone calls that I didn't answer. Monday morning, I was on my porch drinking coffee and reading news articles about Superior Steel's technical difficulties when my phone rang. Richard Walsh, calling from what sounded like an airport. Jason. His voice sounded like he'd been up all weekend putting out fires. "Morning, Richard. Saw the news coverage. Quite a situation you've got there." Cut the sarcasm. "Ford's threatening to cancel our contract. GM's already started talks with our competitors. OSHA's opened an investigation into our safety violations. The union's talking about a full strike if we don't get people back to work safely. Sounds like quite a mess. And that's not the worst of it. Justin's system crashed our entire production network. We can't schedule crews, can't track equipment, can't even process payroll properly. The kid's locked himself in a hotel room and won't answer calls." I took another sip of coffee and waited. Richard didn't call me to chat about the weather. "I need you back," he said finally. "Consulting basis, emergency rates, name your price." I'd been waiting for this call since Friday afternoon, but I'd learned over the years that desperation makes people agree to things they'll regret later. Better to get everything in writing while they're scared. $15,000 cash up front plus a new contract at double my old salary, I said. "Done. I'm not finished. I want a written statement posted on the company website acknowledging that the problems were caused by premature implementation of an inadequate system." Long silence. In the background, I could hear airport announcements about delayed flights. "Fine. What else? I report directly to you now, not to operations. I'm done dealing with people who think Excel runs steel mills." "Agreed. And one final condition. I get to hire 2 additional engineers. People I choose, with real manufacturing experience. No more consultants, no more family connections. Whatever you need, Jason, just fix this before we lose everything. I drove back to the plant that afternoon. The parking lot was half empty. Most of the day shift had given up and gone home when they couldn't get proper work assignments. Scott Williams met me at the entrance with a grin that could have lit up the blast furnaces. Jason, please tell me you're here to save our asses. Working on it, Scott. How bad's the data corruption? Everything's scrambled. Production schedules, crew assignments, safety certifications, equipment tracking. It's like someone put our entire operation through a blender. I walked back into the control room like I owned it, because for the next few days, I basically did. The familiar hum of the monitoring systems felt like coming home after a long deployment. I fired up my workstation and started digging through the wreckage Justin had left behind. It was worse than I'd expected. Justin hadn't just corrupted the production data. He'd managed to lock database tables, create circular references in the safety modules, and somehow convince the system that we employed 45,000 people named Error. But here's the thing about being in this business for 12 years. You learn to expect disasters. I'd set up redundant backup systems that Justin didn't even know existed, transaction logs archived in files that required specific credentials to access, manual records that our site supervisors kept as insurance against exactly this kind of catastrophe. I spent the next 20 hours rebuilding everything from scratch. Employee records, shift assignments, production schedules, safety certifications, equipment tracking. I cross-referenced every piece of data against the paper logs our supervisors still filled out because they'd seen computer systems fail before. Ryan Bradley brought me coffee and sandwiches while I worked. Man, how do you keep all this straight? He asked, watching me validate overtime calculations against 3 different databases. Practice, I said, and understanding that when you're dealing with molten steel and 200-ton cranes, close enough isn't good enough. By Wednesday morning, I had clean production schedules ready. I ran them through every validation check I could think of: federal compliance, state regulations, union contracts, safety requirements, customer delivery commitments, everything checked out. At 6 a.m. Wednesday, I hit the transmit button. The production schedules went out clean for the first time in 5 days. 11,000 workers would wake up to find their correct assignments waiting. The blast furnaces could restart on schedule, and Ford would get their steel shipment on time. Patrick Murphy was waiting in the lobby when I finally came out of the control room. When he saw me, his face lit up like Christmas morning. Jason Coleman, you beautiful son of a gun. You? The schedules look perfect. Boys are heading back to work as we speak. Good. Tell everyone to double-check their assignments anyway. If anyone sees problems, have them call me directly. Patrick extended his hand, and I shook it. You saved a lot of families from a very rough week. We won't forget that. Richard called me to his office Wednesday afternoon. He looked like he'd aged 10 years in 5 days. His expensive suit was wrinkled, his hair was a mess, and he had the hollow eyes of someone who'd just learned what real consequences look like. It's done, I said before he could speak. All plants back online. Ford's getting their shipment today. GM's order ships tomorrow morning. Thank you, he said quietly. Then louder. What do you need? My new office? He gestured toward the corner office with windows overlooking the main plant floor. All yours. Had them put in a decent coffee machine and whatever else you want. I need to start hiring those 2 additional engineers immediately. Send me the job descriptions. Whatever salary you think is appropriate. I walked to my new office and sat down in the leather chair. Through the windows, I could see all 3 plants humming again. Blast furnaces glowing orange, cranes moving steel beams, trucks rolling out loaded with product. The rhythm of honest work producing something real. My phone buzzed with a text from my daughter. Saw the news about your company. Dad, are you the guy who fixed everything? I smiled and typed back, just did my job, sweetheart. Over the next few months, I hired 2 excellent engineers with real manufacturing experience. Stephanie got reassigned to some corporate strategy role where she couldn't hurt actual operations, and I never heard from Justin again. The bourbon in my desk drawer tastes pretty good when you're looking out at steel mills that run on time, crews that work safely, and schedules that actually make sense. Sometimes experience beats credentials. Sometimes the old guys know what they're talking about, and sometimes the best revenge is just being right when it matters most. You can't replace decades of hard-earned knowledge with a fancy spreadsheet, no matter how many degrees are behind it. Real expertise is built one crisis at a time, and there's no shortcut to understanding what actually works when people's livelihoods are on the line.